every year, or almost every year, the libraries or the branch libraries are threatened with being shut down for budget purposes. Would you support a separately elected, self-governing, self-taxing library district, which could be initiated either by the city or by a citizen petition and referendum?
No. The state of Illinois has more taxing bodies or districts than any other state in the union, I believe. So I really don't support coming up with yet another way of taxing people. At the same time, I understand the importance of the branch libraries to people, certainly in North Evanston, and would rather explore other ways that we can sort of rethink the mission of a branch library in a digital age. My favorite idea for branch library is more like a bookstore downtown where you might have like a Starbucks inside and you're able to have a cup of coffee as you peruse the stacks or something like that. But anything where we can sort of rethink the mission of the branch libraries so that other people and the impassioned, very local people who use it will want to use it, so other people will want to use it.
My answer is no. I've seen, as we see with the Evanston Township, duplicative administration and overhead only cost us more money.
I agree with Mark.
I'll mix it up a bit. I do think the concept is worth discussing, getting out and really seeing if it could help us. Other communities have done it for a long time, and with parks and with libraries. I think it's really something we should consider, have a public discussion about it, and maybe it does work, maybe it doesn't. But I do understand that it's not really adding another level of layer of governance on our town, but it's actually a separate topic.
As I understand it, the library did have a separate levy before it was folded into the general fund, consolidated budgeting a number of years ago. And what that led to the library system is a large degree of transparency and accountability for its own funding. The library board now is a very interesting group of people. They've done a lot of fundraising on their own outside of the revenue that comes to the library system from the city. And perhaps we ought to, as Mark suggested, explore the idea of, again, a separate levy for the library as a way of perhaps leveraging the ability of the library to raise money on its own outside of the city's funding.
This calls for a real short answer. Is citizen comment too long or too short? Just right? Any changes you would make?
I would be very much interested in exploring different ways of handling citizens' comment. Obviously, there are times when 2 minutes is way too short, and there's other times when 2 minutes is way too long, especially when there's a lot of people that want to speak on an issue. And if indeed there's a lot of people to speak on an issue, then we need some other way in which people can express themselves. And again, that's where I think the role of technology can come in to make citizens' comment a lot more useful and something worth listening to.
One of my real pet peeves about city council is citizen comment. I do think it's an awful lot of time spent on something that is a one-way conversation. My view is that we need to have a dialogue. We need to at least have some way of council members perhaps being able to at least contact, email, call these people and have a discussion. I think that if people were to maybe submit their speeches in writing, sort of the further information as far as contacting and discussing the issue, it might also keep people on track when they are up there speaking.
I think I'd like to see the city council convene every once in a while without a business agenda, but rather more in a town hall setting where there can be a give and take between interested citizens and their decision makers. Citizen comment as a citizen commenter is, by my impression, ought to be predictable and fair, and ideally more contemporaneous with the agenda item at issue.
the worst part of the citizen comment is you walk away feeling disenfranchised. You feel like you've made a comment and nobody heard you, or they heard you and they ignored you, or they said thank you very much, and that was it. I think we need to be a lot better than that.
The addition that I would have is that I do agree with John in terms of how can we leverage an understanding of what potentially people are wanting to talk about and have responses to. I believe there is a way in which to feed through technology information about this is important to us, here are some of our ideas, and thus have a proactive way in which the council can bring forward some thoughts before the citizen comment time.
I hardly approve of citizen comment. I think there are times it does need to be expanded. In that, what I dislike is walking away from the podium. I have done a lot of citizen comment the last couple months and have been attacked. After I've left the podium, I had a bad incident last night in trying to express my opinion, which was respectful, I thought. In that, I really think that this current council, in that I like council rule number 6. The aldermen are not allowed to speak. What I don't like is that rule seems to be flouted. My understanding is the mayor and the interim city manager at this point are allowed to speak. I actually sent emails to the mayor and the interim city manager, and the result of those emails when I spoke last night was basically falsehoods. So there is a problem on that, and I think that there shouldn't be anything sent to the council prior. And that we're up here, Jeff's asking us questions. This is a way for the citizens to judge the dialogue or what our comments are, and people need to think on their feet, and sometimes they need to listen while they're sitting.